My God, people, man, we're on episode 5, and what a hell of an episode this was. To be honest, I can't even. But it was 30 minutes, but man, did it feel like a lifetime? Because I can assure you that all of us are super stressed out right now. This was a crazy episode. And before we get into it, thank you for all the support and love and conversations that you guys are giving us on episode 4. That was a really in-depth episode as far as like plot conventions and just undertone themes and such. But episode 5 said, yeah, now that we got that over with, we're bringing out the guns literally, because it was a crazy episode.
It was.
Indeed.
But before we get started, let everybody give everybody their highs and everything. Of course, I'm the host here in Nigeria today, and everybody else is here as always, because we still got the rest of the season to go. But let's have everybody give their hello. So Amaya,
what's up, guys? I'm ready. I'm ready to get into it. I got a shot ready. That's how stressed out I am. So I'm ready.
Hi. Welcome back to another episode. It's Sherelle.
Hey, everybody. It's Jazz. I don't have a shot, but I have water.
Oh, man. Well, clearly, I've been drinking every episode. It's Lou.
Yes.
I've been drinking every episode, but this time I broke out the red cup. I needed to get real special, real Molly-ish for this episode. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, let's get those shots going really quick.
All right, shots up. I'm gonna give a shot to Molly.
Yeah, shots to Molly.
Man, before we get started by this episode, I gotta say the first thing that this episode did for me, besides stress me out, is that, and I really miss festival season. I miss festival season. I miss being at concerts because that was a vibe. Black is beautiful, man. Seeing everybody dancing around in the crowd, I was feeling some type of way. I zoned out for a minute. I forgot I was even watching this episode.
Right? Yeah, I agree.
Man, oh my God!
Especially when a wobble came on. You can't have a black anything without the wobble.
It's crazy. Yeah, the wobble scene was so legit. But music and dance has really been our cure for years. So like, anybody that relates to that, you understand, like, especially what happened in that scene. Kind of see Molly and Issa kind of rekindle things shortly, but that's just what the power of music and music and dance and all that does. But like, I can't stress enough. I cannot wait for festival season and everything to come back. I know it's the COVID is still rocking hard and we're still in isolation and quarantine, but like, that's the vibes, man, that I can't wait to get back to. And that scene really was just like, damn, man, love this show, but like, damn, I want to be able to get back to that, bro.
Not being able to breathe in a crowd full of people, everybody touching you, like that's what festival season is. Everybody touching you, you ain't asking questions, drugs are everywhere. That's festival season.
Yeah,
agreed.
Quickly, what's some of y'all guys' favorite like festival concerts that you've ever been to?
I'm gonna let everybody else start. I know mine.
To be quite honest, I haven't been to festivals in a while since I've left Brooklyn, since I left New York. I go to individual concerts. I have to say that Sir, Jhené Aiko, Miguel, J. Cole, like hands down, some of my top favorite concerts that I've been to. So yeah, but I'm a concert head, and I planned on going to Something in the Water, which got canceled. The Roots Picnic, which got canceled. Like I just had plans, and so I'm excited that when things do calm down. And listen, if nothing calms down at all this year, next year is going to be lit.
So lit, yeah.
Oh my goodness, festival season next year. I did Gov Ball last year. I'm a big Jessie Reyes fan. And Lil Wayne performed too. So I was definitely during Jessie Rae's set, that was just like amazing. Just being out there, like her voice is so raw. And I did Made in America the year Beyonce headline. So that was pretty dope.
And I'm a jazz festival, food festival, wine festival kind of girl. So anything that has me like outdoors, I'm here for. And then I'm also like, I go hard on the regular concerts, not necessarily festival concerts, but definitely go hard on individual concerts.
Right.
I think my favorite concert still to this day was the Watch the Throne concert. It was just so lit, but like I was so looking for, and it's weird because they still haven't technically canceled it, but we know it's definitely going to be canceled.
Yeah.
The Weeknd concert is in DC in July, and I definitely was going to that. The Weeknd has always done like really good performances, and
I do want to see him.
Yeah,
I'm so old.
But like
I'm so old when it comes to the Weeknd. I remember his House of Balloons set he did in DC years ago before any major album dropped.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that was crazy. But my favorite concert, I think Jazz said it. I saw Beyonce Made in America. That made me realize just what she was. And then I saw a couple years ago Jay-Z and J. Cole at Made in America also.
Yeah.
Which was also the same thing. But again, I am a more Jazz Fest type person. Spirit Fest or the Capital Jazz Fest.
And you just
Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. Like 2 years ago, I went to Essence. I didn't go last year because the lineup was, but that's me. I love Jazz Fest. I love just that. Again, as I say, that camaraderie, and especially in Made in America, where everybody's on top of each other. I met these very nice little 19-year-old Caucasian women there, and it was just a conversation of her explaining to me why her mother loved Jay-Z. It made me feel old, but it still was a nice community type of environment where you become protective of people who are in your little group when you get real close together. Like it's a dope thing.
Yeah. I definitely.
If the world was a festival, we would be dope because race doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to get at. Definitely been to a lot of concerts of all different types of genres and so forth. And you're right. When everyone's in the spirit of the music, doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if this is your first time listening to the person or not. Everyone's just in a good mood. So like that scene, hopefully everybody that, watched that all got the same thing from it, because that scene spoke volumes like on so many different levels. And it's no mistaking that, Issa and Molly looked at each other and they knew what it was. And matter of fact, I even felt like the energy from Andrew and Molly, the two of them, and even Kelli and her guy, I even felt it between them. Music moves people, man.
It does.
Matter of fact, Issa was like stiff the entire day, but once she got into the groove, that was it. And
I'm gonna call her stiff. When you gotta be, and I've done it before where people be like, "Oh, have this drink with me and do it." No, I gotta focus.
It's about business, yeah.
True.
It's not fun for her when she's the person who's throwing the party and
That's a big deal. Your headliner.
It's just that combination of music that just makes people so comfortable around each other.
It relaxed her a bit, but I don't think she was, anything.
I would
also
say
the direction that event was going toward in the beginning was not the picture.
Right.
Stressed.
Hey, more ways than enough. Music is so therapeutic, man. It comes to save no matter what. There's like God, and then there's like music right there. When it comes down for your hands.
He knew what he was doing.
Right.
Even Tiffany didn't want to go home to her baby.
Right. Hey, I felt her so much. I felt her so much in that moment.
This episode. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Okay, so the beginning of this episode obviously started off on a way different tone because, last episode, Issa was definitely with a lot of energy, happy, and like I said, I just felt like I was like, she's definitely in a good mood, uppity up. This episode, not so much. She is on the swirling down, and I gotta say, and I hope everybody caught this too. She got so down that not only did we, finally, this is the second time we got communication with Nathan. She didn't even text him. She DM'd him, and we know she got his number. That's what really got me. That's why I was like, she really was just in the swirl of things and just ended there. Like that speaks a lot, and I definitely put on that. But nonetheless, it took 5 episodes to finally get his appearance. I know Sherelle's very happy, and I feel like I shouldn't say anything else because nobody a bigger fan and advocate for Nathan 3 in than Sherelle.
Yes. So I was definitely
Nathan finally making his appearance.
Yes.
I think that I'm wondering if she actually. I think she liked his picture, and Nathan DM'd her, if I remember correctly, and then she responds with, like, I can't sleep. Yeah, why you? There's so many different avenues that this one scene takes us throughout the entire episode, because obviously, we can link the argument of Molly and Issa back to this conversation that we had fully, right? And I think that in a space of uncertainty, like her block party is getting ready to pop off. She's also like feeling like, should I reach out to him? Should I not? There are a lot of different emotions and feelings going on. And I feel like this was just a moment of like, for him to respond saying, like, hey, you can't sleep. What's going on? Let's talk. And for the conversation to go wherever it is. I think that no matter the situation with them in reference to romance or not, I think that he's still a good source of friendship for her in the things that she's continuing to do for the community in this format of like a block party, etc. So I'm interested to see where this is going to go. But I'm not mad at the appearance at all.
Yeah, me either. And I also think too, social media DMing, it's casual. It's not that deep. I think that this was a nice way to kind of like move into all right, let me pick up the phone and call. I think it was just a little bit more casual and a little bit more, it wasn't as nerve-wracking than calling or texting. It's almost like if you don't respond to my DM, that's fine. But if you don't respond to my text, I'm going to feel some kind of way. So I think that it was just a little bit more casual of an avenue for her to, have a discussion or open up a discussion and to ask and have a conversation about whatever is needed to be had.
To be clear, he posted a picture, she saw it, and then she hit him up.
Hold up, Meghie. Hold up. Let Jazz respond. I think Jazz is the last woman, because boy, I think me and you thinking the same thing. And it's a man. This is a man versus women thing right here for sure. Go ahead, Jazz. What do you think about it?
No, I definitely do think the whole DM scene was a nice little intro, re-intro for Nathan to come back into the picture. But I do think that was like the side kind of issue that was going, like that played a super side role, at least in this episode, to the bigger picture of Molly and Issa. But it is interesting how we see how Nate played a role in that whole explosion. They obviously not on purpose, but I like how they kind of like worked that situation in there. And that's kind of goes back to our episode last week when we were saying, how is he gonna come back into the picture? And also how we were saying that Issa should find out other avenues is to getting in touch with Andrew and figuring out that situation. So that's ultimately what she wound up doing, and it backfired. But I guess we'll get into that a little bit. And then
this also answers the question of the seasoning opening where she's saying, "I don't fuck with Molly." So this all happens to lead to why she said it, what she's feeling, and how she's gotten to this point and what leads up to this point.
Yeah, all coming together. Go off, Lou. Lou's ready.
Go, Lou. Pop off.
Because listen. First things first. I know everything you all said, everything else you all said, we will clearly address for this episode. The most irritating thing to a man is when you have my number and you DM me. That is so irritating, because it's like you're trying to communicate, but you're not. You're sending a message that most women don't understand. Yes, you're sending a horrible message to a man, because it makes me look at my phone and be like, oh, so we here now. Like, you want to do it this way. We done slept with each other. We done talked. We done did all of this over the phone. And now you want to DM me? Nah, that's not cool in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Women out there, if you do not know, if you're in your personal life, that is not cool to do that. If you have the person's number, call me. If we friends, I understand it. But if we have taken it beyond that point and you have my number and we've been communicating that way the whole time, don't go back to DMing me, because then you'll get mad when a man treats you a certain way when you go back to DMing them.
No, I disagree because they're in a very unknown stage right now. He ghosted her, and although he left her a voicemail, she was already on social media, so it wasn't like she went out of her way to call or text him. But I think for her, she's in an unknown space with him, so I think that was the safe avenue for her to get in touch with him or to say.
Notice I said the separation between men.
Remember
when I said the separation between men?
Did not DM him. He DM'd Issa after she double tapped the picture, and
I literally just looked at it.
Money on it.
He said he just looked at it.
I literally just looked at it. Hey, look. This is exactly how the sequence goes. She get on her joint. She look at her profile. She looks at the joint. Notice that he just posted. Got 62 likes at that. Looks at his profile. His whole joint. Then she's looking like,
and sends him a message.
Dog. And that just says, listen, it says, what are you doing?
Oh my God!
Yes, it's an icebreaker. It's an icebreaker. I don't see why y'all upset with her. They do it all the time. So funny thing, Lou, is I've actually done this with a guy who I didn't know where we stood. I didn't know if he was interested. I did have his number, but I just didn't know what was going on, what the vibe was, because I really just didn't know what the vibe was. So for me, it was easier to communicate with him and less personal to communicate with him through DMing. If I'm not sure where we stand or where we're going, or we don't even have a friendship, this is like super first day type shit, I'm going to do what I feel is comfortable for me, and that's to DM you.
If you've not taken it past the level of just talking, that's fine. Or if you're friends, that's fine. Once you hit a certain level, though, it is extremely irritating to men for you to DM me when you have my number.
It's irritating.
It's even more
irritating to the average bozo who does it to women.
No. Understand this. We'll respond to you. That don't mean it's not irritating to us.
Yeah.
This is the difference between men and women. We'll respond all day, every day. That don't mean it ain't irritating to us. I've not met a man who this has happened to who did not find it irritating. Or when men get together and we have our talks about stuff like this, we be like, oh yeah, man, that ain't cool. I don't know why she do stuff like that.
Though I don't think it's more irritable to you than it is to me for a guy to do it.
It just sends off a wrong message to me. But
I think we're addressing the Issa situation. That's what I'm addressing. Is the way she went about it. From us not really talking, you liking my picture, and then the moment you like my picture, you DM me. It's like, nah, man, no.
If he felt that way so badly, he wouldn't have helped her get with Andrew.
No, that's not true.
Why isn't it? If he said he was irritated.
Here's another secret for women to understand. Men are irritated by a lot of things. It does not stop us from doing other things. Let's get that 100% understood. We are irritated by a lot of things. That don't stop us from doing things. It just means we're irritated. And because men don't display their emotions, like we don't talk about it as much to women.
Lou, I just don't think it's
okay. Can I chime in really quick? Like,
go ahead.
I swear this is a 5-second response here to everything that he said. When he again, he didn't, even if he knew what they were, if he didn't know what they were, no matter what it was, he helped her out with the biggest favor of the entire episode, probably the last 3 seasons, in making sure that headliner came through. He middleman to Andrew. And of course, him and Andrew had the conversation because Andrew knows that they're not cool, whatever. We'll get to that in a second. But nonetheless, him not knowing where he was at, he still did her the biggest solid, period. He did that, made the show go. And then at the very end of the episode, when he wanted to be there for her, she was like, nah, just go. And he left. But I can guarantee you on any scale, on any day, he was so pissed. Like,
men are being. That's my whole point. Men are so.
I don't think it was.
This is our time as men. This is our time as men to explain to you all, because again, we don't think alike. Of the things that irritate us, and it doesn't stop us from doing things to help out.
Yeah,
I've been irritated by women friends. I've been irritated by relationships, and I'll still do. for her, as a woman, it may not have come across as her disregarding him, but I guarantee you, to him, it did. From their interaction, when he first,
and his feelings are valid, however they may feel. However,
this was not about him.
I just got into a big argument with my best friend. I'm like, the block party did not end how I intended it to. Like, there's so many different things going on in her brain, which we should all be considerate of. And I'm not saying that he may not have felt that way, but to say that she disregarded him in like a way that she didn't appreciate him, I don't think that's fair.
I will say one more thing.
At what point did she explain any of that to him?
No.
It wasn't the time or the place to have that conversation.
Right.
It wasn't, and there was no room for that conversation to be had.
That's the problem, though. I think that's what for a woman's perspective, you're right. That's not. From a man's perspective, that is exactly the problem. That's the mesh point that we always end up in certain disagreements with, is that for a man, no, you still have that discussion.
Yeah, you don't have to have it right there, and don't.
That's not the right time to have that conversation. Because
for women, you think it's not.
No, so you would prefer the conversation for her to be angry,
1,000%,
and that's another issue between men and women.
And if you think if you can blow me off that way without telling me exactly what's going on,
you just saw the whole.
No, Nate saw her and her get into it, right? It didn't stop Molly from going with Andrew, did it? Did it stop Molly from going with Andrew?
They're in a relationship.
They're in a relationship, and they also came together. So we're together. We're going to live together.
You just came to me asking for the biggest favor. You just came to me asking for the biggest favor.
Hold on, Lou.
It's the same thing.
Let me put some ammunition in your barrel really quick. So when they had that heart to heart about everything that's going on and how she was down about the event and didn't think it was all going to come together, which was clearly the issue that she's had. I don't know how many seasons. So
the whole time.
So when he get there, he's like, "Yo, you've been working so hard to do this." He upped her up, and she was like, "Yeah, you're right." He consoled her then. What is he not valid? A couple of hours later,
he's not valid. You taking it too personal.
What Lou and Niger are missing is the fact that, number one, Molly tried to call her out and say that she was using people and that she was using Nathan. So after all of this had come out, yes, he did offer to stay and to kind of like help her with everything. It's still a very sensitive time, and I'm processing a blowout between me and my best friend, and I'm also processing the fact that she might have, the way that she views me and the way that she views how I am interacting with people. And this particular person is right here. I can't deal with that all at one time. We're going to have to take a moment and come back and have a discussion with Nathan.
Yes, I think that's the biggest issue.
No, it's not. That's
listen what I'm saying, because you're focused on the biggest issue of Molly and Issa. It's not.
I'm not focused on that at all.
It's a huge issue. I'm telling you for a fact. Not debatable here. It's a huge issue for men.
Opinion.
No, because you're looking at it from a woman's perspective of you saying that I need time to digest.
This is your opinion, though, because I know men that would disagree with you, so you can't be.
I don't believe so. I believe you know men who agree with you.
No, they don't.
We do it in a heartbeat, but that don't mean that we don't think about these things and be like, wait a minute. So I'm there for you. What you need, and you be like, I just need time. Give me time. And it's like. How much am I supposed to deal with this? We literally just gave props to Molly for doing exactly the same thing to Andrew. When Andrew was like, sure, whatever you need, fine. I'm just going to back off. We saw later in that episode that he clearly felt a certain type of way about it, and he never told Molly about it until they got to that restaurant scene where he I just figured this is something you always do anyway. So I'm just gonna make my own plans.
The way
that blew up on Molly is the same way it will blow up on any other woman in that situation, including Issa's situation.
I disagree.
Like, clearly, you asked for a favor. You ain't talked to me for 3 months, right? Well, no, I'm sorry, 3 or 4 weeks.
I don't think that she.
We have a short conversation.
I definitely.
I think she had
a conversation with him. That's like me coming to jail.
Hold on.
Put her in contact with Andrew.
We'll get to that, because that's really key to the end of this episode. As far as this dynamic right here, I'm gonna let the ladies. Anything else you want to add to this part right here?
No.
This is a situation. a phone call the next day. Issa could hit up Nathan the next morning.
We can even go hump on a Ferris wheel if you want to, but it ain't gonna be tonight. I need a moment.
It was never happening tonight. Any which way that, and if it would have been forced, if that conversation would have been forced to happen that night, it would have not gone the way that it should have gone.
Yeah.
Nothing
real
good.
And honest.
Not there.
Real and honest. It wouldn't have gone real and honest.
Look, I'm just saying
my
points to it was it's opinion and point. I'm not saying they're law or fact or anything, but I said I felt like he probably would have felt some type of way, like I was helpful 1 minute, now I'm not helpful now. But you know, I do see the other side of it though. I go through things where sometimes I want there, and then sometimes I'm like, nah, not now.
I will say this. I think that sometimes as human beings, we take things personal and we make it about us and we get selfish, and that is on both sides, be it men and or women, and that conversation can be had at the after show.
Well that's awesome. Okay. So as much as that was this, it felt like a very big element of the show, which it was. There's some other things that happened, and obviously now we're finally at the block party where every episode and season has been leading towards the big event, and the big person who was really a big part of making this happen, outside of Nate, because I didn't even realize he was the one that pitched the idea. But Condola, who was ghosting last episode, has shown up at the event. Now, we have always just been calling her Condola, but I gotta say the Insecure group on Facebook, they have been doing what we have been doing in Nathan's name. I've been seen condolences, consequences. I was like, y'all getting wild now. So Condola name definitely can get slander at any time, any point now. So by all means, but Condola's there, y'all, and she had some news to drop. Some news that we said last episode that, could be a possibility. And bada boom, yeah, it is. Condola and Lawrence have broken up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm disappointed in Condola's actions. That has nothing to do with Issa. She should have at least touched base with Issa on as far as if Issa didn't even know she was going to show up. That's right. To me, that was a little too much. I get it.
Unprofessional.
It was unprofessional. It has nothing to do with the personal side of whatever was going on with her. I get it. We all go through our stuff. We need that moment. We need to take a beat. But if you're working on something with, you have a partnership going on with somebody professional, you let them know, like, hey, I need a beat. Like, and she might not have even to get into the Lawrence. Yeah, what it was. That could have been touched on at a later date. But just the courtesy of like, hey, something's, I got something going on. So sorry. Like, I'm going to be there and like, blah, blah, blah. And keep it to that. So I was very disappointed the way Condola showed up.
Well, I agree with you, Jazz. But and also we have to go back to the fact that, yes, it's business. But Condola throws this shade at Lawrence at the end of the episode, and she asks him, okay, well, what if she didn't cheat on you? And I think that at that moment, she's like feeling some kind of way towards Issa, and it could be like a jealousy thing. It could be, I'm just gonna say it's jealousy, because of her relationship, and she's not feeling as connected with Lawrence as Issa and Lawrence's history is. But at the same time, I can't take away the fact that what she did was wrong. What she did with Issa was wrong.
Yeah.
If she was having a problem, she should have just said, listen, I'm having some personal things that I'm dealing with. I'll get back with you or anything. But I'm grateful to Condola because a lot of this wouldn't have happened without her. So let's give her props. But she's also very shady for not being in communication with Issa when it came to the business. She made it personal and not about the business.
Right. I agree.
I mean, I'll jump in there. I
I'm
think
about to say because it's another woman. I was going to give them a chance.
No,
yeah.
go ahead. I'm like,
I just think I just think that I won't speak for everybody, but I was definitely wrong about her because I thought that when it came down to her business ethics, that she stood for something with some integrity, and when it came down to it, she no-showed as far as some of the last preparations for the event and actually coming to the event. She's very key to it. As much as she was a face at the mixer, she's is a face for this. Who knows if she was supposed to have some type of presentation, stage presence, whatever it may be. She should have been there. Not only did she come, but she left, which is also even worse because it's like, when it comes down to running, everybody has a manager, co-manager, whatever it may be, but somebody has a partner most of the time. And when that presence isn't near, it's nerve-wracking. And Issa's already under a lot of distress. She addressed it head on, and then she opposes about the relationship there. You want to talk about bad timing? That shit could have waited all day, every day. And here's the biggest thing for me with Condola, and it's just crazy how wrong I was about her. She didn't want to go all the way with Lawrence for whatever reasons that, we got a little sprinkle of, but like totally we don't know why. But she doesn't want to go all the way with Lawrence, but she wants Lawrence to be in a committed relationship with her. Lawrence wants to go all the way, and she got her guards up. Thus, she's mad because Lawrence and his past, it's just to a point, it just feels like she wants her cake and to eat it too. And I feel like this is so ingenuine. I really don't know what she stands for now because it seems like her relationship integrity is all in shambles. Her business integrity is all in shambles. At this point now, her leaving the episode here, I'm almost am done with her because I just do not know what to think and how she benefits any person on this right now. Mm-hmm. If you felt like Lawrence could not be faithful to you, then stay out of his life and do what's best for you. If you feel like you can't hold a business relationship with Issa, then stay out of her life. And that's that. Hell, you could have texted her and said, I don't think this is going to work. But damn, you show up at the joint, make a present, drop the bomb, and then roll out. Jesus Christ.
Rolled out after that. She didn't even play. She just wanted to see if she had failed or if she was winning.
No,
that's kind of what I feel like.
We're definitely due for a conversation with Condola next episode. They didn't.
One thing we're leaving out, which is important. When Molly told Issa from the beginning, that's a messy situation to be in.
Oh,
she should have heeded her words when she told her that's a messy situation to be in, because clearly, as it was business up until she found out that Issa was Lawrence's ex. That ended any business they had with one another. It made it personal. And then for Condola to still, as Issa said, well, girl, thanks for checking all the vendors, making sure they all showed up, and thanks for the interns here. But you ghosted me on the photo, the flyer? Like, yes, we can say she ghosted her on a part of it. 100% sure. But the interns, the setup, and everything of the event, Condola still did. She just didn't know if Condola was going to show up.
Just to be clear, that's an assumption that she may have already said.
No. Issa said in the episode.
Hold on.
When Issa said thanks for the interns and everything.
Right. She may have already said that.
Been an agreement.
That could have already been established. And these other and again, the irresponsible thing is almost like a call out of work 10 minutes before you go into work. It's just like, come on now, this doesn't help me. Sure, you had all intentions on coming, but you did not come.
That goes back to the messy part that she was warned about from the beginning.
But I don't really think it was.
Hold up. Let me say this. You can't have business and have anything personal in between your business. Ever.
Yeah, that's what it came down to. And they tried.
Exactly. For someone who's been in this situation before, you can't have business and have anything personal. You can't say, I'm going to try to make this work. The moment you say, I'm going to try to make this work, it's going to fail.
I don't know if it was messy.
Because their situation, Condola and Lawrence's situation was always going to affect Issa and Condola's situation. It was all together the moment she found out about it and she left that office, and it affected Issa. The moment she left that office and she had those dreams about Condola and Lawrence having sex everywhere around the baby shower. At that point, she should have pulled out and said, you know what?
I don't know what the solution would have been.
I don't either.
Yeah, I mean, that's
what the solution
it would have been
because at that point the business was already going.
But at that point, it's for Issa to say, "Hey, this isn't going to work. Hey,
but how
did
she
step back?
No. Hold on, Lou.
Any connections you have, cool. We can leave it at that place, but I can't have you involved in this event going forward." And it ends right there. If she says I can't have what Molly told her in the office when Molly was on the phone, said, "Girl, you don't think you should end this now? That's kind of messy." If she'd have ended it right there, we wouldn't have.
But then that would have been ending her block party as well. I'm not going to lose out on my block party for the sake of her
so you
being
can't
in a
have
relationship
your cake,
with me.
but then you can't have your cake and eat it
it's
too.
not about, but
because
it's not about
it's going to be personal.
It too.
You know it's going to be personal. How is it not going to be personal?
Okay, well, so to me, I don't think it was about being messy. Complicated, yes. Messy, no, right? Because if her and Lawrence,
I think Molly was hating in a way too.
This would not even be an issue. You wouldn't even be bringing this up. So that's null and void, right? So complicated, absolutely. Messy, maybe not so much. The idea that Issa decided that she could be professional outside of the personal, there's nothing wrong with that. It may not work in many cases, but in some cases, it does work. Could have worked in this case.
I'll just ask one simple question.
Has stayed together, but the situation between Lawrence and Condola didn't really have anything to do with Issa per se. It has something to do with how Lawrence felt about Issa. That's a difference. Issa did not come in here and like, let's make this an issue. She was being professional. She did not have any, as far as I know, she didn't have any actual feelings per se for Lawrence that were discussed. She was just trying to get her block party done. So I think it's unfair to say that Molly made a prediction of it. Yeah. She kind of just like jinxed the situation. Your friend deciding to be professional and like going forward with a situation she's already entered. It's like if you entered a contract, there's certain reasons you can't breach your contract. So personal issues may not have been the thing that was something that could have been discussed. So I think it's messy. Not so much. I think that Condola should have been more respectful of the business agreement that her and Issa had, be it verbal and or written, to say, hey, this happened between me and Lawrence. I'm no longer feeling comfortable with working with you. XYZ. It's not all on Issa to be like, well, you know what? I found out you're dating my ex. We can't work together. That's a responsibility on both parties, not just
I would say this. We just had this discussion in episode 3 about how messy the situation was. Not only did we have the discussion about how messy it was, we had it because we said Issa had feelings for Lawrence.
But we didn't say that.
The point that she had feelings for Lawrence made it messy.
But it's an assumption that she had feelings for Lawrence.
It wasn't. She literally had dreams about them having sex everywhere. If I don't care about my ex, as we said at the beginning, if I don't care about my ex, why would something like that? Why would something like that bother me? It bothered Issa. The point that every interaction they had after that point was Issa being extremely uncomfortable around them. The point that Lawrence came to her. The point that Lawrence came to her. The point that Lawrence came to her in a secret conversation. The point that Lawrence came to her in a secret conversation about Condola, and she had to go back to Lawrence and say, "Is this something I can share with her?" Again, we brought this up that was messy. You can't tell me there's not messy situations in here.
Yes, him having that conversation.
If it's at all any portions of it can be messy, you back out the situation. You don't stick in a situation that has the potential to be messy. If it's a potential to be messy, you in that situation.
Things wouldn't get
done. No. Hold on, Lou. You've had a lot of mic time real quick. I'm going to quickly say that I totally do not agree with that. There's so many reasons why you can be in a predicament that ultimately could just be against your morals, your will, whatever it may be. For instance, if you work with somebody that got different political views with you, do you not be able to conduct work with them? How is it not? How is it not? Business is business. Business is business. When you go to work, everything outside of work, everything outside of work stays outside of work. When you go to work, you work on your work. The issue is that Issa understood that. She knew that this was a working business relationship contract, and that's what it was.
I agree.
Condola went in there for 2.5 episodes of understanding that. And then at some point, she went from the business mogul and just said, by the way, this Lawrence thing isn't working with us. And now it's not going to work with us. She should have never made it.
We talked about it in the last episode. Just one question. What else was Condola supposed to do for her to block party?
Finish up the party.
Hold up.
We said that we weren't clear on what her role was, but I think now we're clear on her role.
We said
this
no.
episode
We said in the
clear what her
episode,
role is.
What was it? She had the vendors.
And the interns.
She got her
apparently
everything.
She had the flyers.
All right,
again, that's the key part. What did you say?
You just need that extra support from the person that you kind of
helping you.
But that's not business. Extra support is not business.
No, it is business. As much as her
that's not business.
As much as her parents was at the mixer, she was supposed to be at the event. Molly understood that because that's why she said she's supposed to be there, and she wasn't at this event. It's obviously a known presence that she was not there, and she made it known. That's why she came and left because she wanted to make sure that it was very evident that she was not there. Not the potential. 100%. First of all, you don't put no one.
But if I want to be around you, what am I supposed to do?
No one puts in work for an event as an event coordinator and not show up. What? Wait, do you think
she an event coordinator?
Yes, absolutely.
Based
what
off
are you
of what?
talking about?
Based off of what? Because we just said
event coordinators.
They established their roles. Never did they establish any roles in this in the whole time.
She doesn't have the formal title wasn't thrown out. But when it comes down
to
the
last thing she said?
Hired the intern. So I believe
what's
only
the last thing
coordinators
she said in the episode? No. What's the last thing she said in the episode? All your vendors are here. All we're waiting for is Spotify to show up. Once they show up, we're good to go. So I got your vendors here. I got your interns here. I got everything that you needed to have your event. I just don't want to fuck with you.
That's personal.
That's personal. That's personal, not business.
It can be personal. I'm saying it was personal from the beginning.
It's personal. Yeah,
he doesn't like the fact that she doesn't show leadership. He doesn't like the fact.
I think Issa's soft. I've always thought she was soft. That's not new to me. I expect her not to show
but soft people can be leaders.
No. They can't.
Yeah, there are different type of leaders. It's the same way a boss is different from a leader.
We gotta move to the next.
People
can be leaders, not soft people.
We definitely gotta move to the next thing. I just realized we got some other key things we need to talk about really quick.
She's a delegator.
Do you, and quickly answers here. Do you think Tiffany and Derek knew the whole time and they were just acting like they didn't?
No. Well, I don't think that they knew because one thing about Derek is that he wasn't going to lie and say that he didn't know when he really knew.
Yeah,
he was even shocked about it. He was like, "Damn, he didn't even tell me."
Derek is so funny. Derek cooking on little boys.
Come out in the scene where they were visiting when Tiff had the baby and he was in the nursery with Derek.
I think he might have wanted to tell him then, but he didn't say anything.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't think
that conversation would have happened, and it didn't.
It wasn't the time and the place for that conversation. Right. It wasn't about him. It was about that baby.
Yeah, I think maybe Derek might have. I mean, Lawrence may have like hinted, but I don't think that he brought them in because I feel like first of all, Tiffany is very like frank, and so I don't think there would have been a reason for her to lie. And her who she's been throughout these entire seasons of the show, she's never been one to hold back her tongue. So I don't feel the need for her to start now.
I will say in that office scene when they kind of all was looking at each other and they was like, wait, you knew? That's when I started speculating that Tiffany could be possible of like withholding information to just be the peacekeeper. So that's why I came with that.
I think that's like Jazz going on a date with Lou, and I know Lou sort of in my head ain't shit, and I'm like, oh, that actually worked out. You know, like that's a whole type of person being like, oh, like Lou's an amazing guy, and I hope like there was a level of expectation that Tiffany had that was not going to go anywhere, so there would have been no real reason to bring it up until the whole scene. Now, then that's different.
Yeah, that photo booth scene had me dying too. By the way,
the fact that Kelli, Jazz.
No, I think Tiff and Derek. I think nobody, Condola or Lawrence, was bothering.
I don't think they knew
with that information. They have bigger things to work out. So
I agree.
Yeah, I was just saying that photo booth scene had me dying. Like, Issa went from like I can't take no picture. Okay, only 3. And they hit the pose, the jail pose. I was feeling that. I was ready to jump in the booth off that one easily. But
I'm on the point that Kelli just like literally had this whole British accent the whole episode.
Amaya,
but she nailed it. She nailed it.
She did nail it.
I need you to sound off on Kelli before the end of this episode. All right, the floor is gonna be. I need you to sign off because at first I was like, huh? And then I was like, oh yeah. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling what you're saying. So we'll talk about it in a second. But the other thing that I hope everybody has been brought to everybody's attention. Yo, Lawrence didn't show up.
Nah, I wasn't really expecting him to.
I wasn't expecting him to show up.
I wasn't expecting him to.
You know, there was so much going on this whole episode. I realized at the end he didn't show up, but I also wasn't bothered or concerned or wondering where he was, just because
it wasn't about him.
Why?
It wasn't about him.
Nah.
Yeah.
We actually thought that was going to happen.
He wasn't going to show up.
Hold on. But why? Because him and Issa just had a conversation about how important this was to her. I'm not totally sure, but I believe she either invited him or stated to him like you should come, whatever it may be. But if they broke up, does Lawrence have no indication that Condola is just not going to show up either? So he doesn't even have to worry about that conflict.
He might have just been avoiding both of them.
Yeah.
So you're saying that he's hurt about this? Is he affected?
I think he was into Condola, and then at the same time, I think that he had some confusing feelings for Issa.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's just in a really bad situation right now.
But I think he needs to take a step back and figure out.
That's why he ain't come. Yeah,
he had no reason to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely
to both ladies.
His absence wasn't felt, but I'm super curious as we get to the last parts of this episode. What would have happened if he was? It's funny that we're not even gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna mention what if him and Nate was there because they have never met.
What could have happened there?
I think it was more about Condola being there, and the chance of her showing up is the reason he didn't show up.
Absolutely, Lou.
But when there's a fight, especially when you want to have your personal best interests there, who is going to be the white knight of the night? That is an egotistical thing that tends to happen. So
I don't think they would have.
It could have been something. But
I think he would have been more concerned about Condola showing up than anything else. He
would have already known she wasn't going to be there because she was gone before the sun even.
No, but he didn't know that. I don't think because
he didn't know. I think he didn't go because he was avoiding Condola.
No, but
when he tried to have a discussion with Issa about that relationship ending, I don't think at that point they're not talking, so he wouldn't have known that she was going to show up.
But I understand that. But think about when I'm trying to project here. If I knew that my significant other was not going to make it, right? Mm-hmm. Or was going to make it, or maybe I don't know. Why doesn't he know? Because he thinks like, wait, we broke up because of this other person. She's not going to mess with her, or even though we broke up, she's going to continue to handle her business. That's the card that I'm thinking like.
As I put that,
even he didn't even know she would pull a wild card like that and not.
As I put that cape on for men earlier, I don't think men think that deep into situations.
No, absolutely not. I think he was just strictly
hey,
if I could consider,
I think he just needed to sit this one out and figure out his stuff before.
Hey man, I don't want to be in that uncomfortable situation. Both
Go ahead, Amaya. What you was gonna say?
I said if I could have inserted a GIF right there when Lou was putting on his cape or taking it off, I can't.
Because
I'm sorry, Lawrence is a big thinker, so it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, the whole season he's been overthinking everything, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was just like, I wonder if she's going, I wonder if she's not going. Should I go? Should I not go?
Emotionally confused though. When you're emotionally confused, you overthink situations that probably don't need to be overthought.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
And overthinking would have been not showing up.
I appreciate that he didn't show up. I appreciate that Nathan didn't stay. I think Issa did not need a white knight this episode. I think she, this whole season.
What happened needed to happen, and now we need to get into it.
Y'all saying she was deserved everything that she got. So really quick, Amal, look, unless I'm tripping, did he come in throwing shade left and right? Her brother.
He always throwing shade.
He was always throwing shade to Kelli. Yeah.
Hey, hold on, but I need to probably go back and check this out.
He was throwing shade to Kelli and Tiffany.
Did he purposely not hug Molly? He hugged everybody else, I believe, but did he purposely?
He didn't hug Kelli.
He didn't hug Kelli.
Besides Kelli, I'm sorry. Besides Kelli, who he very made it clear. I had no clue what's up with that.
He's Team Issa. He gonna rock with his sister. I don't think that was
intentional. I think he was there for his sister. Molly's with her man. You know what I mean? Like it ain't need to be nothing more than what it was. What's up? Hey, how y'all? You know, keep it moving. That's not what we here for. We ain't here for no hugs and no kisses. We here to support friends and family. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Intentional. His shade towards Kelli, he's always messing with Kelli. I missed the shade towards Tiffany if he had any.
No, I'm sorry, not Tiffany. He came in and gave Tiffany a kiss on the cheek, and he hugged Issa, and he stepped back.
But no, he gave Tiffany shade when he was like, "Oh, you're not going to go home with your baby" or something like that, and she was like, "No."
Yes.
He just. All the sass. That's
he's super
I think that's just who he is. I don't think
it's seriously his personality.
I don't think there was any ulterior motive or anything around that.
Right.
Yeah, I was wondering. Tiffany had the moment later on in the episode. I didn't read much of it with him and Tiffany.
No, me either.
I was wondering, did he come in and saying
ignoring Molly?
Yeah, on the half of his sister, because he came out as like he really, the last time him and Issa talked, he was the voice of reason. Yeah. But when he came in, I felt like, for me, I was like, oh shit, did he come in with the shade? He was just like, hey, no, and hated my sister, and whatever.
I don't think that I care too much about his entrance.
I think this is regular personality.
We all been in those situations where we all hanging out with our friends and somebody step in off the late and they just, acknowledge half the group. So that's why I was looking like, I wondered, was that deliberate or not?
Situation.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything.
Not this time.
It's just who he is. His personal. There was nothing that stood out about that scene that seemed abnormal to me.
Yeah.
Hey Lou, shut up.
I have never been in that situation. I wouldn't even know what. No.
Let's get to the last and most important part of the episode, and that's clearly because my man, I don't even know his name, but the blood is back. That's all I want to talk about right now. My favorite character in the entire show is back. But no, seriously, like 25 minutes in this episode, and shit got real. Like shit really got real when Molly found out that Andrew was the one who conducted to make sure that Vince Staples was the headliner. He was the connect. We know Andrew works for Live Nation. Mm-hmm. And Molly and Issa tried to have a conversation about it last episode. Molly said, "Nah, I'm not asking my man to do it." Therefore, there's some type of communication.
Therefore, leave me out of it. That's the impression that I got. So why anything other than that happened has me incredibly confused.
Well, hold on. There's another key part. Issa had the conversation with Nate. Whether it was a favor or whether Nate stepped up to do it himself is to be determined. But nonetheless, Nate made the connection to Andrew. Andrew delivered. Vince Staples' manager, came out, gave him his props for setting it all up. They worked the deal. The show went on. It was a success. Molly wasn't feeling that. Mm-hmm. Molly felt like you went behind my back. We're not cool. Don't be asking my man for anything. It's a lot that happened. They got in a back and forth, and fingers were pointing, and it was really about to pop off before somebody had the gun. As always, in the event, like my man said, black people can't have nothing. But nonetheless, there's a lot that happened here, and as we get close on our time here, like I need to know, what was your guys' thoughts about that entire scene, like. Because it literally was the stressing point for me over. I was done. After that, I was done. I didn't need no more.
And Issa still have not had the talk that they were supposed to have. Mm-hmm. And that it was literally like their friendship was hanging on the thread, as we saw at the beginning of the episode. And Molly just needed that one thing to make her snap. Yep, mm-hmm. To put. She was almost looking for that one thing to make her snap, and that was her reason to just go off. I was like, "Is a fist fight gonna happen right now? Like, is there? Is this? Are they supposed to be on the floor rolling around? Is that what's gonna happen? Thank goodness that did not happen. But the fact that it even got to the point where it was a matter of get your hands out my face and people breaking stuff up, it was crazy.
I'm gonna say this. Number one, it starts with the fact that Issa does not have time for Molly, and it's very clear in this episode that Molly's not feeling like the priority in Issa's life. And their conversation should have been had a long, long time ago. But Molly is 110% very, very wrong for the way that she handled this entire last scene of this show. Number one, this is not the time nor the place to have any type of discussion where it's personal about our relationship, our friendship. This is not the place. I love that she had her gesture as far as bringing her some food. But again, this is not the time or the place for us to have this friendship conversation. We had a moment when we were dancing, and the minute that you found out that Nathan was the reason that I got this headliner for the festival, you go ballistic. And honestly, when you made your statement about you not wanting to get involved, sweetie, you weren't involved. At that point, you were no longer involved. This was now between me and Andrew, or me, Nathan, and Andrew. Whatever the case may be, sweetie, you weren't involved, and I don't know why you have an issue.
Yeah, I didn't see the issue with the way Issa went about making. She
never even said that she didn't want them to communicate.
Yeah, exactly. She never said that she didn't want them to communicate. You know, we've already said they've communicated before. It's not like they don't know each other. It's not like they've never hung out before. Issa needed to make her stuff happen, and she needed to use her avenues to do that. And like you said, it didn't involve Molly. So yeah, definitely wrong time and place. I do want to say, like, yeah, I would say Molly definitely takes a bulk of the fault here. But while it's still on the both Issa and Molly that they should have had that conversation, the way it happened, I feel like Molly takes a bulk of that.
I'll quickly say I'm on Andrew's growth train right here. My man shows so much poise in this entire episode. You know, she tried to play him and not being able to do the wobble. Like, I was like, man, he said, oh, when he did that, Lord, so I'm like, okay, I see you, brother. But at the same time, too, he was able to interject in himself in a situation that, you know, is so kinetic that typically anybody outside of it really shouldn't say anything. But he was able to be a voice of reasoning really smoothly, and I really, really commend him for that. To even reach Molly, even though she ignored it. And I really do respect that. He stood beside her in a way to try to diffuse the whole situation twice. And it didn't seem like overbearing, didn't seem like escalating anything. So, you know, I think Andrew, like that relationship, man, if Molly, you know, we'll see what happens next episode. Andrew is really proven to be a really committed partner through thick and thin with her right now.
Yeah, I definitely like them together.
I am curious to see, like, if Molly confronts him about not saying anything to her about the whole situation with Nathan, and you know, because it's not just Issa that, you know, this was an Issa, Andrew, and Nathan thing, and so I'm kind of like, why is all the aggression? You know, well, we know why. Yeah.
We'll see.
What you thinking? Because you over there like ready to.
No. To me, mine's is simple. If my friend did that, we wouldn't be friends anymore. That's it. That's it. We done. We good. We are perfectly good. I would not have argued with it. I wouldn't have argued about it. That'd have been it. We good. Don't even worry about us no more.
So you're saying that you got your event off.
You got your event off.
Issa?
Yeah, 100%. So I'll be like, you got your event off. That's perfectly fine. We are done, but you got your event off. And then I would address whomever I'm with who did that, especially if you say it's your friend. I helped out because it's your friend. That would have pissed me off even more. So when Molly said, "But you know our situation right now," that says Andrew knew it, but Andrew thought like, "Hey, but y'all still friends. I'm only helping out on the contingent that y'all are friends, and I'm still going to help out because y'all are friends." and I thought you would want me to help your friend. So everything reverts back to you telling me you did it because that's my friend, and you know the situation.
But if that piss you off, then we not friends. Sorry.
Yeah, 100% so. No, that's it. One between their relationship, I'd have ended it earlier than that. But in this situation, that'd have just been it. But I am not going to create a scene at your event. No.
So here's the thing, right? So this is the straw that broke the camel's back. One, Issa and Molly been had issues. So and I've been through this situation. So if this is the thing that is the deciding factor to break our friendship, you was already considering breaking our friendship in the first fucking place anyway, right? Secondly, the conversation after Molly said what she said to Issa, she could have easily went back into the bedroom and had a conversation with Andrew about her, telling her that she was opposed to him helping her. Okay, that's number two. Number three, yeah, you don't need to have a conversation in public like that because that's unnecessary and it brings attention to places where your now boyfriend feels the need to step in because he's doing it because like most people, that's like me and Jasmine being best friends for 10 years. Sherelle sees an issue and she's like, she's going to help me even though Jazz is mad because she's under the assumption that y'all been friends for 10 years. This will blow over.
And that's honestly to me, I'm with you, Maya, is that's men mentality. They don't see petty shit. If we're going to go back to the beginning, they don't see petty shit. And I think that if he had done anything other than helping Issa without Molly giving him the instruction not to, I would look at him like he was Saul.
I mean, I wouldn't even look at him like he was Saul, but I just feel like there are so many ways to pass blame on all parties and not just one particular person. I think that if you are willing to let a friendship go over a situation as this, like I said, the straw that breaks the camel's back is always that. It's that saying for a reason, right? The camel's back was already really broken. You just needed an excuse. You needed an excuse to let me go. So if the friendship was, if you were willing to be like, all right, trash that friendship, you were already thought about trashing the friendship before this happened. So the point that they should have been had the conversation, both Molly and Issa, one of them or both of them should have set up a time to have the conversation about friendships. Molly should have told Andrew how she felt. And I really believe that Nate is the one who stepped up and offered because I don't think Issa really asked. I think she really was just like, I'm stressed out because that's like me having a conversation with her.
She's always stressed out. To him about
if I'm telling you I'm stressed out and Sherelle can help, if we're cool, why wouldn't Sherelle offer to help? I mean, yeah. I think, and I say this with like the best intention, but Black people be making something out of nothing for no reason. It be hype and dramatic and messy for no reason when really it leads down to a simple conversation on all parties' side and stating how you truly feel to actually come out with a better outcome versus then this friendship is done or we having a blow up and about to go fist to fist. So in my closing remarks, everybody should have had a conversation with somebody at some point, and this wouldn't even happen.
But this also makes me ask the question of if this had been someone else other than Issa, would Molly have had an issue? Even if it was somebody at her firm, just somebody other than Issa, would she have had an issue with this particular situation? And my guess is going to be no, but because it's Issa, she has an issue. And I'm just trying to figure out too, why wouldn't you want to see your friend win? Well, she's not, we're going to say she's not her friend, but why wouldn't you want to see someone that you've known for 10 years win?
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Also too, Andrew did to see them two dance with each other in the crowd. So much to his thought of like how this made this brush over, it was solidified not too long ago when he was like, y'all were just cool again.
Y'all was just dancing.
And then Molly said out of her mouth, we were just cool again. I was just wobbling with you.
And then she tried to say we fake dance or some shit like that.
But I think that comes into having discussions with the person that you're with.
That's what I was going to say. My pet peeve is assumptions. And much like Amaya said.
Because I don't think
just have the conversation.
Next episode will display a lot of what's going on. Because I think next episode, they're going to talk about a lot of these discussions that were had. Yeah. So making assumptions about the discussions is one thing. It's going to depend on next week when they talk about these discussions, how these discussions were formed. Because if they were formed in a way where where one party let the other party know exactly how they felt about anything is going to make you look at it completely differently.
But wouldn't it have been better for Andrew to say when they were having a discussion about whether or not they were actually
Andrew
going, for him to
her.
say he should have said
Andrew should have
something.
told her. She should not have found out from Issa.
He should have mentioned.
He should have mentioned.
Yes,
oh yeah,
100%.
That was a big factor in like this.
And I think maybe that would have made things a little bit different. And then it maybe could have just been that she wouldn't have gone. And honestly, at this point, I would have preferred that she have not gone.
Think about it. At the beginning of the episode, when Andrew and Molly are having a talk about Molly even going, he should have told her then. He should have told her then, hey, I did X, Y, and Z for your friend.
And I think that's the thing, is that these conversations all needed to take place before this block party. Like Issa and Molly should have made it. I get it. People are busy. Issa's super busy. She got all the, but they should have made it a priority to have this conversation before.
Yes, 100%. So.
Yeah.
One person did. One person attempted to have it, but business got in the way.
Yeah, but I also think that this will be my last 2 cents on it, is that Molly is a hater in this situation because, number one, you gave her props that she did a great job, but then you take all of that away when you find out that your dude got her the headliner, and that to me just don't sit right. Like it just.
Yeah, when
been something that I would have brought up, because it would have been neither here nor there. Like the event already happened. It was already a success. It was nothing, I don't see the shade on.
I think it's a situation that everybody brought up. That should have been a conversation that was had way before the event.
And she should have just not have gone at that point.
For Molly being mad about it, you're only mad about it because your man didn't tell you about it and your friend didn't tell you about it. To Issa saying it all worked out anyway, that's not the right response to that situation.
It wasn't. And then and I think
either one of them should have had that conversation about, hey, he did this for me. What do you think? They did this for me. What do you think? And it's not just on Issa, that's on Andrew too, because how the hell you gonna do that? And she's right by saying, the space we're in. He should have said, hey, by the way, I did this favor for your friend. So we can hash it out, but that ain't something you need to do at this event.
I'll quickly say my closing remarks really quick. And hopefully all of you guys got all your closing remarks. Much like Amaya says, communication, especially the person who has the intimate expectations. If you want to set something and you want to make it precedent, you need to say that initially, because when you don't set expectations, it's almost like a lie. You're robbing everybody else's ability to tell the truth. Andrew can't react or even, accommodate your expectations if it's not being said. So everything he did, whether it be right or wrong, isn't really in his hand because you didn't tell him what you wanted him to do. He made the decision on his own because that's the decision that he was left with without any controlling factor. So I don't really look at Andrew at fault here. I think he was just the moral compass this entire episode. Even when they had the episode on the couch, he spoke to her. He's like, look, your friend put in a lot of hard work and this is a lot to do. Hey, Molly, remember when you were getting on me about this and now you see those results? And she was like, yes, 2 examples of what you've been saying and how it makes sense. I understand. And God knows it took her, 10, 15 minutes later, and she was not all that went one in and out the other. So, at the same time, I can't wait to see what happens next episode because a big conversations need to happen to see where everybody was at before this, where everybody's at after this. Condola and Lawrence is clearly the biggest conversation that we're going to be looking forward to. Hell, where the hell was Lawrence at? Because all his friends almost all his friends was here. I'd be curious to see what was he doing in the spare time. Was he pacing back and forth? Was he watching his favorite crime show that he's watching? We got to see. It's going to be a lot, but and also too, we got to kind of see how the situation diffuses because they were literally at blows. When you start pointing the finger at somebody, you already know somebody's gonna pop off. Luckily,
Luckily, there was no gun.
Yeah, somebody. Man, I'll tell you, man. If you've never been to an event when somebody yells out, you've never been to an event somebody yells out they shooting. Man, you don't know, man. It's the most scariest but fun time of your life. And I mean that ignorant as hell. Ignorant as hell. It is the craziest thing ever. So, but that is my closing thoughts for it. Quickly, everybody, little last tidbit so we can wrap this up.
I'm good.
We didn't, we talked about Tiff, but there was definitely that foreshadowing of postpartum depression there. So I definitely feel that's, to come too. You already saw them foreshadowing that.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be interesting. I always think, we don't get that much of a glimpse into Tiffany and Kelli's life. So I feel like I'm waiting for that.
Back over Jazz. I think they did a good job throwing in real life situations. Last episode, they talked about how she got a blood clot, right? And she could have died. That's a real thing for Black women who are having babies in hospitals. So I think that they will do some sort of like show on, or maybe just like a little bit more material on Tiff and how this is important. So.
And I love that it's like also kind of humanizing her a little bit too, because we have like this very narrow view of Tiffany, which is all about keeping up appearances. So
and I know a lot of people have been saying they want more from Derek. They said this guy has been one of the most legit guys on the shows, but we don't really know too much about how he really grew to be this person who has such an emotional. He's so emotionally stable, but how did he get to this point? And we're really, where's really the things that keeps him on track. So I know there's some depth to that. Is this postpartum going to actually put him to the test? I am interested to see. We got 5 more episodes for this season, so I'm definitely curious to see if we get some more depth in that, because for halfway in, damn, this could have been a finale for a season. How impactful this was. So. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching our review. Definitely give everybody a follow, a like, or a subscription under in the comments below to all of their outlets and so on. And we'll be back next week for episode 6. See y'all later.